Hey guys, it's me, Timotika. I know I haven't not been making many videos lately, and it's also been very rough because I was hoping to try to make professionally made videos, and I still don't have the software and stuff for it because of the lack of money I have. It costs a lot of money, and I also have to train myself to do it. I've also been very busy with trying to create and make original intellectual properties and clean up this apartment and cooking and especially with work and looking into other courses and practicing my driving skills. And you see, that's but now that I'm here now, and I think I'm going to be and I think I'm good. The thing I'm going to do today is that I'm going to eventually make future videos of this stuff that I'm about to mention in this video. I've been talking about it, making videos like that, about this stuff. Some of them I already did talk about these topics, and I know, and basically, I I basically just had a lot of I had a lot of confrontations with people with certain videos, so I took them down. But as I say, different strokes for different folks. I I actually am thinking about calling this video like about my own my about my very new. I'm gonna mention these things again. I'm gonna call This is what I'm gonna call them. My unpopular opinions and very unique political views and religious beliefs. Now, if you don't have anything nice to, before I get started, I want to say if you don't have anything nice to say, then or if you don't agree with me, then I suggest switch off this video because I know people are very steadfast in what they believe, and I've been getting the confrontations online and in person with people about these unpopular opinions when I mention them. So here I go. Here's my unpopular opinion that most people don't like. Number one, I think trademark and copyright laws should be made not as strict, because at least I don't think they should be abolished, but I think they should be not as strict because it's really stifling creativity and it's not really. And I've been struggling so much with originality because every time I try to create a cartoon character or write or a plot line for like a script or any animation or any sort of play or movie or show, or every time I try to write a song, it always comes out looking or sounding like or seeming like something that already exists. So I think the law should be watered down a little bit. Unpopular opinion number two. I was born on October 7th, 1995, and at approximately 4:30 a.m. And to be honest with you, whether a lot of people believe it or not, I believe I'm a 2000. I strongly identify myself for many good reasons as a 2000s kid, but with a 90s kid overlap, because I think that I still had some memories of the 90s. It's not a huge. It's not a huge portion. But it's still a decent sized portion of memories. I have great memories of 1999 and 1998 and even 1997 because I researched it scientifically. People can remember far back as from when they're at least turned 2 years old. And if you have autism like me, you basically can even remember further back. So that's and I remember back for at least because of my autism, I can remember back from even further to like my first birthday. But also my toddler and preschool years were predominantly in the 90s, and I have a lot of memories of that time period. I had a babysitter I went to. I went to preschool. I think I went to two different preschools actually, and I basically also have memories of when I was a toddler, and with my family members, and with my several friends in my life, including my next door neighbor and my lifelong best friend Mark and everything like that. And a lot of this was before even hitting 2000. So I strongly, and I know what was happening at the time. The stuff that was on TV and the music that was out and stuff. So I know that basically, I strongly feel that I'm a 2000s kid with a 90s kid overlap. The first 5 years of my life were in the 90s, and from 19 and the first 4 to 5 years of my life were in the 90s. Like the fifth year of my life was started for the next 3 months before even hitting 2000. So and I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people who can remember far back when they're 2 years old, even old people, and it's not a lot. Sure, and it's actually a little bit more common, much more common than you think. So, and if you have autism, it's even a lot more common, and you can even remember further back. So, there you go. Unpopular opinion number three. I don't think homosexuality is actually a sin because I mean, like, I feel that I had those romantic and homosexual tendencies, and I know it's not. I know it actually is natural. People have people actually have sexual orientation is something that you're either born with or you develop when you through puberty or through growth, even through childhood. Because I know that there are some children who actually like the same gender, and you want to, and I don't think it's a sin because if it was a sin, then most people wouldn't find it natural, and most people wouldn't find it, even in the old days, wouldn't find anything wrong with it. A lot of people, even this day and age, don't have a problem with it, even though there's plenty of others who really do, but due to their religious beliefs. But I think has a plan for LGBTQ people. Same thing with including transgenders. You know what I mean? Sure, found it kind of weird that I wouldn't, including transgenders. Like, I don't find it weird. I mean, I just find it. I mean, I guess if you identify yourself as a male or a female, I don't care. I don't really care. That's between. That's you. That's just on you. That's just you. Okay. I'm okay with but actually, am okay with transgenders. I'm not. I don't have a problem with it. I just have a. I just have like a. I mean, I was just it took me a little bit. It just took me a little bit longer to understand than just being lesbian or gay, homosexual or bisexual. I myself am a bisexual. However, that goes for the pop opinion number four. I think that if children have gay parents or transgender parents or feel those tendencies, I think children should individually, not from the whole group, but for individually be taught stuff about LGBTQ, even kids in elementary school, because that's num because like some kids are gonna feel male or female. Some kids are actually going to be attracted to the same sex or both genders, and some of them even have. And of course, a lot of them these days have gay parents, especially probably it was like that in the even. I think it was even like that in the 2000s as well. But I mean, like, you know what I mean. Now, unpopular, and I still do think we should say yes to same-sex marriage marriage I understand on what point religious people make about man and woman, and they can make a baby. Two men and two women can't make a baby. I understand that, but you want to know something? I think that a lot of people love is for everybody, and I think people in the LGBTQ community like myself should have equal rights, choices, privileges, and opportunities just as much as everyone else, including getting married and having kids. Now, unpopular opinion number five. I think I think I think that I'm also autistic, and as I said before, and you want to know something, like, people really people really need to stop talking down to people with special needs. I mean, there actually are plenty of special needs people who have full time careers who do good in college, have lots of friends, and even can maintain relationships, and even get married and have kids, and even who drive cars. And people don't give them enough of a chance, according sometimes depending on the state. So I think that people really should. lay off and stop treating special needs people like they're small children because they have disabilities or illnesses or conditions or that stuff. I know a lot of people believe what this already, but you want to know some. I know a lot of people agree with this unpopular opinion, but the reason why I say that is because some people don't realize that they're actually talking down to us if they, you know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 6. I think I think that Pete I think that as you know, I know this is a controversial topic like now I support the rights and privileges, choices and opportunities of all kinds of people, whether it's men's rights, women's rights, whether it's black and Hispanic, Latino, Asian, LGBTQ, straight, special needs, right-handed, left-handed, rich and poor, and male and elderly and young and stuff like that. I know, and you want to know something? Before I get to the controversial part, I'm going to actually say a different unpopular opinion. I think that all this hatred against nostalgia and wanting to publicly do things like that are kid friendly, such as bouncy castles and other things like that. Whether someone older, like a big kid or an adult, wants to go into a bouncy castle, or someone wants to watch a kids channel, watch cartoons, or play with toys and collect them and play video games. I think if you people really want to do those things, if they should be allowed to, and it should be accepted in society because these rules saying, "Oh, you're too old, you're too big for this, or you're too big for this." I think this that's a form of ageism, and that's like a discrimination against people's ages. I mean, unless it's for a good safety reason, such as like drinking alcohol. That's 21. Like if you're 21, you can watch. You could that's proper age to drink alcohol, and if you're 18, that's old enough to have sex, and you shouldn't have sex until you're 18. You shouldn't drink alcohol until you're 21. I support those specific rules, but I mean for like things that do things like kid friendly. I also think that elderly, and I know that elderly people should get just as much of a chance as young people, even though they're much older and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I support the rights of all kinds of people, not just one or two. I support all human rights, or forms of human rights. Now, with that being said, here's the controversial thing. As much as I support the rights of women, and most of the women rights and stuff like that, and as much as this is a very controversial one, and I understand if you don't agree with this statement, I can understand why you would be upset with me. A lot of those of you women, I support. Hold on a second, Alexa, alarm off. There you go. Sorry about that, my Alexa. Now, I support women's rights. As much as I don't like political and religious bigots, I support almost all other women's right, very much all other women's rights. I do I do think I do think that abortion should be is not really much of a good idea. I mean, I know that's a very controversial one. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, abortion. Like, I mean, I really don't support. I just don't support abortion because I think there are so many other ways to deal with an unwanted pregnancy. Even though I'm not a woman, and I know I'm not, and I know I support very much all other women's rights, and I don't, and I know, and of course, as much as I don't like political and religious bigotry, I, I basically, in prejudicism, I think it's basic in extremism. I just don't like abortion. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. And and as for like And as for Nickelodeon, for the kids channels, like that's unpopular opinion number 6. I don't know. Kind of lost count of number, but I think for unpopular opinion number 6, I think that the kids channels such as Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel should really continue to bring back some of their older shows and even make fresh new ones to actually revive to actually like with actual creativity that shows that actually with great characters and titles and with great plot lines and stuff like that. I think that it will be great. That will really be a great idea. I really think if they make more and more shows, if they go back to like the fifth, like making like 50, 60 shows per kids network, as well as other networks. I think that their kids network. I think they can. I think they actually program the same way they did in the '90s and the 2000s, like have the characters interact with each other from different shows and different bumpers and promos and everything like that. I think if they do that, they would actually have a better audience. And start number 7. I think that MTV should stop showing these mediocre reality shows, and actually go back to doing music festivals, doing music stuff. You know what I mean? Going back to making playing music videos and doing MTV awards and MTV concert stuff, and even doing music lesson, even doing like TV shows with music lessons, because it's MTV, it's music television. You know what I mean? And I also think they should bring back and I think they should also bring back G4 too, and actually do video game reviews, like gaming for people, like, you know what I mean? Because that's what G4 was about, and that's what G4 stands for. An unpopular opinion number 8. I believe that I believe that that I believe that a lot of the I'm gonna say that I'm trying to think of what else I have to say. Unpopular opinion number 8. I really do not like police brutality. I mean, people say a lot of things. The whole thing with Black Lives Matter. I mean, like I really think that police should actually start treating people, even in the South, should start treating people with people who are like, start treating African American people like humans, how instead of like all the others, instead of like instead of like how they treat them now on the streets, instead of accusing them of crimes and all that stuff like that. I know this doesn't sound like an unpopular opinion, and I know a lot of people think this way, but it really needs to. I really think it will be I really think they need to stop doing that. Unpopular opinion number 9. I think big entertainment companies such as like Disney and Warner Brothers should actually collaborate with each other more often and do projects with collaborating their characters and their movie stuff. Because I think the same thing with gaming, same thing with TV networks. I think that they should do that, because even ones and I think that entertainment should stop being about competition, and it should just be about entertaining people. People have their own. People are going to choose what to watch, and some people are going to like both many networks, including the ones that oppose each other. I think they should stop doing the competition thing and start collaborating with each other. They'll make money either way. I mean, they're not going to. I mean, they're not going to. They'll like they should start. And I think the rich people who these men and women who run them should actually stop doing everything just for the money and doing it for the fans too, and trying to take on different things by collaborating with other networks and stations and movie companies and record companies, and so on and so forth. I think it. I think great new ideas can come from doing that. Unpopular opinion number 10. I think that this unpopular opinion number 10. I think I know this is not a real. This is also not an very unpopular opinion, but and that people believe. But I think children, this day and age, should actually get out and play more outside, and also play with toys more often, because than just being on the iPhone and on the electronics and stuff. Because I mean, it's good for the kids to pretend to be things, and it's good for them to get out there and get exercise, and I think they should play on video games on consoles too, so they can talk to each other verbally, and not just on the phone. Because I mean, they can still play the phone games and the mobile device and the electronic device games, but not. I don't think they should do as often as play like the console, as well as play the console games, and go outside and exercise and play sports, and go out and play with, as well as pretend and play with all these different toys and stuff. And that is unpopular opinion number 10. Unpopular opinion number 11. I think in a streaming way they should bring back Blockbuster Video. And I think they should have like stations, like instead of it being a video store, there should be stations where you could download it, even though you can already download it on computers and on mobile devices. I think they should have a station where you can download it, because I don't think that everybody can afford a mobile device. But I think they should bring back. There's plenty of people also still watch DVD and Blu-ray as well. So I think maybe they can do that as well. They should bring back Blockbuster Video. I also think they should bring back Toys R Us too. Even though they brought back Toys R Us and they are under a contract with Macy's, I think they should make more collaborated at Macy's and Toys R Us stores, and have like Babies R Us and Kids R Us sections. That actually would be good. Unpopular opinion number 12. I don't think they should have gotten rid of Circuit City or Radio Shack, because they could just, all they really have to do is have, there's still people using electronics to this day, and especially in more updated technology. I think it would have been better if they should have got right with the times of modern technology, and actually they can keep their Radio Shack, and Circuit City can keep their businesses. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's unpopular opinion number 13. I think they should have. I think that I personally think that ABC Family, which is now Freeform, but it's still a family-oriented channel. I think that instead of having all these drama adult shows, that 20-some-year-old adult shows such as Pretty Little Liars and The Lying Game and Meet the Fosters and the Fosters and stuff like that, I think that instead of having that, should have more family-oriented TV shows, like DreamWorks and Universal should actually put some of their animation and stuff like that. Even though ABC kind of already has a contract with Disney, they actually collaborate with Warner Brothers sometimes. They have like a Harry Potter. They have Harry Potter on there. I think they should do that more often during the week too, and also have like family-oriented sitcoms and live-action drama shows. Unpopular opinion number 14. I personally think that also with children, I was going to say this in number 10, and I got popular opinion number 9 or 10 or whatever. I forgot what the number was, but I also think children should be also grateful for what they have. They shouldn't whine and cry and throw a fit and a tantrum every time they don't get what they want. Like, I want the new iPhone. Yes, everybody's getting an iPad. Why you give me a knobby? First of all, I mean, I'll make a video on that, an individual video on that too. But I think kids should be grateful because I mean, I'm going to basically get to make a full video on that, on spoiled children. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Number, unpopular opinion number 15. Um, I, let's see what else here. I think people should educate themselves on other people's problems. Like people should not be giving people a hard time if they're going through shit, if they're going through stuff because bad stuff because they're actually just because they don't know what they're going through and they're judging them and they just don't want they don't want to understand people with whether it's people with special needs or people who are black or people who are LGBTQ. You know what I mean? That one I don't have much of an input on. Unpopular opinion number 16. I I strongly believe that there's not that they have like like when you're a kid you have you have like sports programs and theater groups and stuff like that and stuff like that. I think and in class recreation classes for like children, I think it's way too much more popular for children than it is for adults. And I think they should have more ones for both teenagers and adults of all ages. You know what I mean? They should not just ones that are just for kids. And I think sometimes they should even collaborate kids with teens and adults as well. That's a very unpopular opinion right there, but you know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 17. I I think people should be a little bit more lenient. But people well you know for like for like I think I'm just about almost out of unpopular opinions. But you want to know something like you know but you want to know something like I think it's just a number here's actually one for number 17. Number 17, I think that animals should just be as valued as humans. Like if an animal dies, they should be people should actually have feel just as sorry for their owners losing their pets than they do with than they do with if it was a human, like a child or an adult or any sort of human whatsoever. Because animal life, I believe, is just as valuable as human life. Unfortunately, we have to eat animals in order to survive, and we can't really get rid of that. Really, you know what I mean? We can't really get rid of that. Every culture has their ways of like their dietary choices. You know what I mean? So there you go. But I think animal life should be just as valuable as human life, and people in other countries should actually do the same thing with even with the animals that they say they eat. Unpopular opinion number 18. You know, I think that no one under 18, no child, even if they did break the law, should be thrown into should be put in jail. A child should be put in jail, like unless they have like a parent, maybe have parents' permission, but I don't think a child should be handcuffed and put in jail. Like I think there's jail like if they committed a misdemeanor. Only maybe if they committed a felony, but I'm not sure. But if there was like a misdemeanor like trespassing or loitering or so on and so forth, I think that they should just get a warning or they should just have a like more kid-friendly punishment rather than you putting in a jail cell and with a convict. You know what I mean? It's dangerous for the kids, and you know what I mean. And I think you have to be sick in order to do that. People say scare them when they're young, so they'll learn when they're older. Yeah, I don't think that's a good. I mean, there's kids could be traumatized for life. You get scarred for life if you put them in a if you forcibly put them behind bars or have lethal force. Police could like do lethal force on them. And I think there's also ways to discipline children. Like if you spank a child like on the hand or on the butt, that actually can the child discipline. You might have to do it hard, but not with but not hit them with a belt because I think that or with a paddle and stuff or any of that stuff or hit or even because then that will be to me that will be especially that will be child abuse, and I really think that you know what I mean. And I think that'll be child abuse, and I think kids need time to learn. They need to be taught to listen. They need to be disciplined, but you can't, but not harshly, that hard. You know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 19. I think I don't. I also that goes to another thing. I don't think that people who commit like misdemeanors should be actually have a criminal record because misdemeanors are just one little. They're really just little mistakes you make. White collar crimes. I mean, they could have a criminal record, but I think depending on the crime, on the white collar crime, I think after a while, like a criminal record, like that criminal record should on that specific offense should be wiped. I think people need because you know what I mean. It depends on the crime, on that white collar crime though. Felonies, I'm totally with. If they commit a felony, yeah. But then yeah, that should be a criminal record that haunts them for life. Or especially if they steal or they break the law, or they try to hurt somebody. Then I agree that criminal record should last for a lifetime. But if it's like a misdemeanor, it shouldn't be a criminal record. And if it's a white collar crime, it should only last for a certain amount of time. That's a very unpopular opinion right there. Unpopular opinion number 20. This probably is going to be my last one. I'll do a part 2 on this if I run into things that I don't agree with. But this is probably the last one. I think that they should bring back boy bands and princess pop stars and rock and roll music should make a comeback because rock and roll music as well as R&B soul music they really got the music industry started. Before the 1950s, like it was just a cappella and classical and jazz and blues. I really think that rock and roll and R&B soul music and as well as disco music and as well as 90s pop style music should come and 80s like style music should come back. Should really make a comeback. I mean, a lot of people, myself included, like a lot of the older music from the 20th century and 2000s way more than we like to a lot of today's music. Some of today's music is good. I'm not gonna lie, but that's it. But that's pretty much it on that. And unpopular opinion number 21. I think like I mean. I don't mind trap music. I mean, I think a lot of the 2010s music has been a lot of like, also very too overly digitized and was like all this, just like a lot of the TV shows, too overly trendy pop culture stuff like that. It's like this whole a lot of things with kids and teens and young adults these days. and it's going into like older adulthood too, that 20 some that this whole hipster culture thing. Like people are saying, "Oh, this stuff is." I'm sick of people whining about the fact that anything old that they hear on the radio or in a party and stuff, they say, "Oh, this is so last decade. Oh, this is not part of the top 40 or three songs or all that stuff like that." If it's not one of the top 40 hottest hits of today, or if it's not, or if came out in the past, it's still, it's not, it's not really, it's not really, it's not really. I mean, it's not relevant to them. I think that all music and TV shows and movies are relevant, and video games are relevant as long as you find it to be good. It shouldn't matter what decade or generation something comes from, as long as you find it to be good. You know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 22. I also think we have too much technology. Like a lot of the things that we have on mobile devices, such as Androids, knobbies, smartphones, iPhones, iPads. You know what I mean? I think, and and Kindles. I think that it's pretty much all the same thing. They have the same apps. They have the same. They have internet service. They do this a lot of things that they all do, that all the others do. I mean, like, and they're basically just little mini mobile computers, really. I could probably all of this we could do on those mobile devices. I, I don't. I think that they should. I think that they. I could just do all that on a computer. Hold on a second. I gotta sneeze. Well, there you go. And yes, I think it's a good thing that we have them to some extent. However, I mean, like, however, there's only some. I think that we should have. I think we should have some specific programs that we have like computer editing on the iPhones as well. But I don't think we should have also too much technology. Unpopular opinion number 23. I like. I don't think that. I don't. Although I am a supporter of gun control, this is a very controversial one. I think there's too many. People have too much easy access to a gun. I think we should take precautions such as what Japan does, which is like take a 401 psychological evaluation, take a class, take a test, and not be able to like sell them in the just through the stores just through one little background check. They should have a few probably 2 or 3 background checks as well. I don't think, however, we should get rid of guns completely. I think that we should be able to, because we have the Second Amendment in this country, and the Second Amendment I think should be respected. The right to bear arms and to defend and protect yourself. Yes, but I don't think we should have people should have easy access to a gun. Not in cases of civilians. You know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 24. I don't. Yes, I actually. Yes, I personally think that when it comes to being a kid, you see, people between ages of 18 and 26 are also still pretty young, and the body stops growing by 25 or 26. I think you can still consider 18 to 26-year-olds as kids, even though they're young adults. They're in young adulthood, but still, I think they're not quite fully grown adults yet either. They're not children anymore, but they're not quite adults either. Same thing with teenagers. I think 18 to 26-year-olds should have their own group called I think they should be 20, known as 20-sums, and people over 26 will actually be fully grown adults. Even though I still think the age groups of 18 and 21 for drinking alcohol, 18 for sex and voting and stuff like that, and 21 for drinking alcohol should actually still continue. But just because you have more adult-like opportunities does not mean you're a fully grown adult. To me, that's when you're 25 or 26. Unpopular opinion number 25. I think, I mean, not too many people have compassion. I think if there's people like there's for example my mom like there when people like there's if like a pregnant like there's like situations in public where a pregnant lady will be crammed into like a booth at a restaurant while they have a nice spot for men for like and they give that to like the main like someone who is like someone who's not doesn't have any medical conditions at all. Same thing with like physically handicapped, same thing with elderly. I mean, it really I think people should be a lot more lenient and a lot more compassionate for people like that, and they should give them spots where they'll feel comfortable, and and let the people who have no medical conditions at all. You know what I mean? Unpopular opinion number 26. I think like I used to love Kids Bop as a kid. I don't really like it anymore because they're a lot of today's music is just I don't really like a lot of today's music. I didn't like Kids Bop after Kids Bop 14. They had like the first several Kids Bop albums were great, plus their Christmas and Halloween albums and Gold and the 80s albums. But in mid to late 2009, when they had Kids Bop 14, that's when I stopped liking Kids Bop because today's music that's now taking over. Basically, you know what I mean? It's not that I outgrew it, just like the kids that networks. It's not myself that's changing. It's a lot of the industry. And if I didn't, and you know, and that goes to pop opinion number 27. People say that cartoons and kid shows and toys and video games and kid-friendly video games are not good for you because you've grown out of your childhood and you're not part of their target audience. I'm going to make a full video on that eventually, but you know, it's like if that was the case, I wouldn't have liked the later Pokemon series or like some of the, or My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and all that stuff like that. They have real because those shows really appeal to me, and I watched all the shows from my childhood, and they still appeal to me the same way. I get excited watching them. So that's not really the case. Unpopular opinion number 28. I think that I think I think that I think that like I think that people that's this is very controversial because it involves Social Security and all that stuff like that and Medicaid, but I think that they should let some of the people on disability and people in the elderly work full time again if they really want to, if that's a really strong desire, because because I only can have $502,000 a make and can only work 20 hours a week, and I really think that people on Social Security and Medicaid should really, especially whether it's disability or elderly or some, I think that if they really want to work full time again, they really should have that choice, and I think that there should be a way to do it. Unpopular opinion number 29. I really, I mean, like, I'm trying to think. I actually like. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to. I want to have like at least 30. I want to have at least two more unpopular opinions. Okay, let's see here. I think people should. I think we should like. I live here in Riverhead, and we have plenty of recreational centers. I think that even doing recreational activities are expensive these days. I think that they should have fairer prices for recreation activities, like whether we go to the aquarium or whether we go to the bowling alley or to see a movie in the movie theater or or to like go out to eat at a specific restaurant. You know what I mean? Or go mini golfing. I mean, the prices for that stuff are just way too high, and I think the economy needs to go back to where, especially for like recreational and entertainment based stuff, miscellaneous stuff, should be a cheaper and maybe at least a fairer price. And last but not least, this is my last one. Unpopular opinion number 30. Um, I I think that they should actually. This is a very hard one, and I think like I think that I think that people in the Christian community should be welcoming to all kinds of people. That they should be that God is actually, and I actually believe that God it actually loves and accepts all people. I know that there's things that they have to take from the Bible and stuff like that, but that was gonna be part of one of my earlier religious based unpopular opinions. But you know what I mean. Maybe I'll, you know what I mean. So, I'll collaborate this one with another one that's a completely different topic. I think that I think that I think that I think I think that let's see here. I think that we should keep some of American history our American history monuments and stuff like that. Like, yes, I totally get why they would take down the Confederate ones because that one those ones support racism, but but I'm against racism. So I think that people I think that people that we should keep like the monuments such as George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Thomas Jefferson, stuff like that. And we should keep our American flag red, white, and blue with stars and stripes, and our national anthem as the Star Spangled Banner because it's what we've been through as a nation. You know what I mean? I'm not. There are other unpopular opinions I'm going to say. I'm not going to say because some of them are just too controversial. But but with that being said, those are my unpopular opinions. My 30 unpopular opinions. If you agree with me, then please like, rate, comment, and subscribe. If you don't agree, I suggest you not commenting at all. Just switch off the video. If you said, especially if you send me a hate comment, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to block you or report your account. So please do not do that. Well, that's all, you guys. This is Timothy tuning off, and I'll see you on the wild side.